Welcome to episode 7 of 2019 hunting season. I haven't been out in my woods since November 4th. I've been working, didn't take the vacation this year. Shotgun season's coming up here in about 9 days. I do have a 4-day hunt coming up. I'm going to hunt the day before shotgun season. I'm going to bow hunt. And then, of course, shotgun season over the weekend. And, my farm's going to have about 3 weeks of no pressure, throughout this rut period. So I'm hoping maybe the does are going to use it. Maybe they're going to use that west side to kind of hide out. Maybe the bucks are going to use it. I hope. We had a big cold spell come through. A little bit of snow. Temperature was probably -7, feels like yesterday, and I'm hoping that that's going to kind of wear them down a little bit and slow them down a little bit. One of the problems I have is when the bucks do show up and they come through that 10 acres of woods that I'm usually hunting in, or even on the west side, through the thicker stuff, they're in a hurry. They're either on a track of a doe or they're looking for does, and they're not moseying through there and picking and eating, and they're on a mission. So hopefully this will wear them down a little bit and slow them down, so when they do come through, they'll just, I'll have plenty of time to see them, plenty of time to get ready, and hopefully get a shot. So we're going to see what happens here, starting on the 21st. Again, it's supposed to be cold. They keep moving the temperatures up and down, up and down. The higher it goes, the more chance of rain they're calling for. So I don't know exactly what to expect or how much hunting I'm going to get done. I don't like to sit out in the cold rain, but you got to do what you got to do. And I do have a hunting blind that I can put up if I need to, especially for shotgun season. I'll tuck it into the big evergreen tree down there and hope one of them comes down through the middle there. At least it'll keep you out of the wet most of the time, and if you need to, you can put a little heater in there to keep yourself warm. So I've never hunted a blind with a heater in it. Matter of fact, I haven't deer hunted in a blind for quite some time. But this year I may have to if it's going to rain for 3 days. So we'll see what happens here in about a week and a half. Hopefully have some good stuff for you. If nothing else, we're going to have some stories. So we'll see you here in about a week and a half. I didn't get any footage this morning. It was pouring down rain pretty much from the time I walked out of the cabin to come out to the stand till I actually got out of the stand. I did have a little 6-pointer come in. Came in just perfect. Come right from the northwest. Come down the four-wheeler path. Come down right in front of me. And I'm not sure what I did. I could make all kinds of excuses with the rain and the dark and the shaking or whatever, but I just flat out screwed it up. And I did hit him. I did find blood. I actually found a good blood trail out the south end of the four-wheeler trail where he went out into the field, out in front of the cabin. And he actually cut to the corner over by Tony's, and I found a little bit of blood about 50 yards from the road. So I'm pretty sure he went across the road. And it's posted no trespassing, and I don't have permission to go over there. And I believe they're leasing that out. So I hate that I should have whacked him. He should have never made it off the farm. But these things happen. I wish I did have footage of it so I could see exactly what I did. got a lot of white hair and blood, so, and he was kind of quartering to me a little bit. I don't know if I pulled it and went across his neck area, kind of the throat patch, or if I just went low on the belly and got a little bit of blood. He didn't really even act like he was hit. He just kind of wandered off, and but I did find some blood, but I think he'll be all right. Shortly after he come through, I had that little one that I seen a couple weeks ago come through, and then I seen one after it was all over and done. I went in the cabin, changed clothes, took a nap, and when I got up, I saw a deer on the other side, on the west side, and wasn't sure where it went to, because I kind of went over that way with the bow and didn't see it. I ran some meat down to Old Man Tannehill's, and when I came back to go to Paul's, right across the road from me, there was a little buck crawling or crossing the road from my place to his, and I think that's the one I actually saw outside the cabin. But I just had this other one come through. I'm not sure what it was, if it's 4, 6 maybe. It almost looked like a 4, but I got just a little bit of video. I don't know how good. I was trying to get him to come closer to me, and he didn't want no part of it. So we'll see what goes on this afternoon. We're going to stay till dark. So in the top center of the screen, a little doe starts coming toward me. She's actually going, looks like a little bit north, and then she makes a little bit of a slight turn, and she curls around, and she's going to head right toward me. And she ends up going just a little bit left of my tree stand. That tree you see right there on the left hand side, she'll get right there, and then I'll grunt and stop her, and at that point she's only maybe 10 yards away, so it's pretty much a chip shot. And I couldn't have asked for better movement from her to make it to where she did, and make it easy on me. So here you go. Well, you heard on the video, her run right on past me. Got her good in the shoulder, good angle going down, and had a good blood trail. So I hit the GoPro and went ahead, and I saw her go down in the field next to my woods, so I knew exactly where she was at. But I went ahead and followed the blood trail. You can't really see it on the GoPro cameras, but this will give you a little idea of how far she went. From my stand to the edge of those trees there is maybe 50 yards. It's not really that far. She went another maybe 30 or so out into the field, and I went ahead and got down to the edge, and when I got there, I went ahead and texted my neighbor and told him I had a doe down, and he was going to grab the mule and come out and pick it up, so we didn't have to drag it all the way out of there and all the way back up to the truck, or to where we could get the truck to it. It wasn't my field, so I didn't want to drive into the field, So I went ahead and drug her back to my area, and then had him drive through my area to pick her up, uh, just out of a courtesy. But like I said, you can't see very good the blood trail on this GoPro. So I really wasn't getting down on my knees and looking at the blood, but it was there, obviously the whole way, and I don't know if you can see her laying out there or not. It's tough to see with the trees and the leaves still in the way, but we got her out of there all right, and that whack is the sound you want to hear. And as soon as you get down and you see a blood trail like we had, uh, it's a great feeling. Of course, like I said, I saw her go down, so I knew I had her. But it's still cool to go through the motions just for the practice, if nothing else, because there's a lot of times you don't see them go down, and you got to follow that blood trail to lead them to you. And the crazy thing is, several times I've killed a deer and had another deer come by and gets on the blood trail. And I've actually had deer point out where the deer went and collapsed, because they go there and they stand. But I had a little surprise when I turned back around to go back to the stand. That's a picture of her there after we drug her out. But after I came back from the stand, this clown here was coming at me, and it was just absolutely crazy. I thought he was just going to run all over me, but he finally looked up, and I talked to him a little bit, and he finally turned back around and took off. But he was following the blood trail too.
Looking for something, dude? She's over there.
It's crazy stuff, man. You never know what's going to happen out there.
She ain't gonna do you no good.
Toes. It's Friday, November 22nd, opening day shotgun, and it's been a screwy morning because of the weather and my body. I was staying at the hotel at night instead of the cabin, because I could probably stay there for less than I spend on propane. But I was getting dressed outside the truck, went to put this thingamajigger on them. So I took my glasses off, got all dressed and everything, put my bibs on. Bibs were all tangled up, the straps, so I had to undo them, got them on. Finally got dressed, got ready to come out here to walk toward the stand, and I thought, man, it's hard to see out here. What the heck? And I discovered I didn't have my glasses on. Just what J-Pops did last year, turkey season. But I looked all over for them at the truck, and I can't find them. Luckily, I had a spare pair in the truck. So it's been kind of a slow morning. Only half a dozen shots or so far. Been out here. It's been legal shooting time, probably an hour or so. But I did have a little spike buck come in, 40 yards broadside, of course. But I didn't want to waste my tag on him. So since I already got the doe with the bow last night. But hopefully things will pick up. It's cooled off. So still overcast. Wind's blowing a little bit. But we're going to see what happens here for a little while. I'm what you would probably consider a non-conventional deer hunter. And, most guys don't like to get up and move during a hunt. They don't like to be traipsing around in the woods. They like to get in and out after a hunt. They might go in for lunch or go in for breakfast, and then when they come out, go set up at a different spot. But a lot of them don't like to move in the middle of the hunt. And I've never been that way. If I'm not seeing something or I'm not comfortable where I'm at for whatever reason, be it the weather conditions, be it I just don't feel like I need to be there, I need to be somewhere else, I'll get up and move. And it's paid off a lot of times. And shotgun season, that Friday, I had the little spike come in and didn't take him. I seen 2 other little does. Really wasn't seeing anything else there in the 10 acres of woods. The north wind was coming up, kind of crawling up behind me, and I just didn't feel comfortable there. And I decided, I'd seen that deer, that little buck, the day before over on the west side of the farm. So I thought, well, I'll go over there and hunt. And that place I'm hunting, that stand, is where I killed my big 10-pointer behind the hunting shack. And it's actually kind of out of the wind, especially now that all that's grown up real nice and thick around the hunting shack. It really stops that north wind. So I went over there, and I'm there about a half an hour or so, and I look up and I see movement, and it's this little 5-point buck. And at first I wasn't too sure about what I was going to do, whether I was going to try to take him, not take him. I was hoping something would be with him, something would be behind him, or a doe would be strolling around there somewhere. And he come walking from the north to the south, and then all of a sudden he turns east, and he comes right to me. Now, the one I got with the bow, the doe, the day before, you don't often see deer just moseying in and they go right 10 yards from your stand. You don't often get that. Usually if they're that close, they're a little skittish over something, or you've made a grunt or a rattle or something, and they're aware that something's going on over there. But to have one just stroll in like she did is kind of unusual. And then to do it 2 days in a row is unheard of. And sure enough, this little 5-pointer turns toward me, and he comes, and he's 10 yards from me. I didn't have the camera out. That morning it had been spitting rain on and off, so I put the cameras in my bag before I moved to the other side. And when I got over on the west side, I didn't put them bound. And I wish I had, because I'd have had another just perfect opportunity for some video, and he was right there in front of me. And like I said, 10 yards, and I got him with the shotgun. He did run out onto the 4-wheeler path, which was good because he got out of the thick stuff. And I was actually able to just back the truck up in there where we mowed, and have the 4-wheeler path and the entry paths, and was able to put him in the truck there and drive him out, and didn't have to drag him at all. So it worked out pretty well. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut, and I've always been that way. I mean, I'm not going against everything you learn on TV, everything you've seen in hunting magazines or whatever. I don't stick to the script, and it's paid off for me. And sure, maybe I missed a couple deer, but I don't know that. I don't know that they came through after I left, so what I don't know won't hurt me. this is him after I got him out. This wound you see is actually an exit wound. I actually nailed him through the left shoulder, and the slug come all the way through. And like I said, it was 10 yards, so it did a lot of damage. And it kind of looks like a gut shot, but it's not. He didn't go far, of course, and I got 2 tags left. I got a either sex tag left with a bow, and I got a antlerless only with the shotgun. But I'm working second shotgun season, so I doubt that I'm going to take any time off for that. But I may go back out with the bow and try to get one of them 8-pointers I've been seeing on video. Hopefully one of them will show up.